likely been following the news about the hate-motivated crime spree where mezuzahs were stolen from dozens and dozens of apartments inside a Toronto seniors complex on the weekend. While the police investigation continues, we want to update you on new developments. But as importantly, I wanted to bring you the voices of the victims, the tenants, and how the Jewish community has rallied around them. Most are Russian Jewish Canadians, some are Holocaust survivors. All are vulnerable, although they live independently for the most part, in this subsidized City of Toronto-owned community housing complex. They woke up early Sunday morning to discover the sacred Jewish symbol that's supposed to protect their homes was gone, and also left them upset thinking about the violation of their personal safety going forward and what could have been. So I went down to the building before breakfast on Monday to see for myself. I'm Ellen Besner, and this is what Jewish Canada sounds like for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Welcome to North Star, a podcast of the Canadian Jewish News, made possible thanks to the generous support of the Ira Gluskin and Maxine Granovsky-Gluskin Charitable Foundation. As caregivers arrived early Monday for their shifts, helping seniors who live at the West Don apartment complex in Toronto's heavily Jewish Bathurst and Steeles area, they saw a police cruiser and an area field command truck parked close to the entrance. Most realized it was connected to the news about the large hate-motivated theft of mezuzahs targeting their clients and patients. Sorry, you were feeling bad?
Yeah, very, very. I'm not afraid. How I say, poor people, so I have to go.
Here, we'll take it down here.
On Sunday, Rabbi Yirmi Cohen was among the first people to sound the alarm.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at this.
When word of the vandalism reached him, Rabbi Cohen and his father have been holding prayer services at the building for years. He remembers personally putting up some of those mezuzahs. He went through the building, taking photos of the vandalized doors with the missing mezuzahs. On Monday, I caught up with him in the multipurpose room off the lobby where those services are held. So you're the rabbi and your family's been the rabbi at this building for years. How did you first learn that the mezuzahs had been taken off?
So Sunday morning, I get a phone call by one of the residents in the building, very upset that his mezuzah is no longer on his front door. And I quickly, I rushed over actually, and I went over to the door. I took a picture, and I heard him out. And I figured, I probably should check other doors that have a mezuzah that come to our minyan on Shabbat morning, Sunday morning. And lo and behold, his also down, no mezuzah. And I went to a few more, and I realized that every single mezuzah in the building, we're talking about 14 floors, every one of them have been ripped off from their front door, except for the first floor. There's one solitary mezuzah left, maybe because of the cameras. Who knows? But yeah, very, very upsetting.
They didn't unscrew them. They just had it. What did it look like? Because I don't see pictures.
Most of them, almost all of them, have been glued by my father and I. These people are not people of means, so we've helped them during COVID. A lot of them were put up during COVID, actually. Some before, and by the double tape glue. Some of them were put on pretty strongly. So yeah, somebody obviously had his tools ready, and one by one, perhaps in the middle of the night, early morning, we're going to find out. Hopefully, with God's help, took them off.
So where are they? They were on the ground, or they're disappeared? They're just not at all. So you also took them.
Yeah, they totally disappeared. We thought maybe they'd be in the garbage dump. There's a whole room over there. But the policemen, I have to say, to their credit, they've been very, very helpful.
So you phoned police right away?
Yes, we called the non-emergency line, and they said, they'll make their way. We did wait quite a while. And then when I called them back again to explain that it's not just a matter of, damage to property, but residents are extremely upset about not just the mezuzah but also their safety. They quickly made a point to come as soon as they can, and they're doing a really thorough investigation.
So did you think this is a hate crime? I mean, who decided? Obviously, we think it is, but what do you think?
We don't know at this point. It makes sense that it would be a hate crime because of, every single mezuzah was taken down, by all the Jewish residents. So it looks that way, but, we're going to wait for their investigation and hopefully they'll discover and get to the bottom of this.
Okay, so they have cameras in this building. It's not going to be that long till they know pictures, whatever, or were these pictures or the cameras not near?
Right, the cameras are only on the, on the first floor in the lobby, in the entrance, so there are not any cameras on the floors, right.
Who do the residents think did it? What are they telling you?
Yeah, they don't know. They're just extremely upset. Some of them, as you can appreciate, are in their late 80s. Some of them left Soviet Russia and have memories of anti-Semitism and the hate, that they had to go through. So this is a bit of a deja vu. And extremely concerning. And it means a lot to them. Every time they leave their house, they touch the mezuzah, with love. And obviously we believe that God, mezuzah represents divine protection. We're going back 3,500 years ago from Moses. So I think the message, Ellen, is that we should not only not take down our mezuzahs, but we should add, as the miracle of Hanukkah teaches us, to add in goodness, add in light.
And have you slept? How does this impacting you personally?
I have slept, but not in a very easy way because it's obviously personal, very personal, and concerning. And I've got a lot of. I want to thank everybody. For all the love and care that they've shown on social media. From people from all sorts of parts of the community, Jewish and non-Jews alike. And thank you. I really appreciate that.
We're going door by door, offering whoever wants a new mezuzah to put one up. We're putting it up for them.
About mid-morning, volunteers from the Jewish Russian Community Center had arrived, loaded with boxes of new mezuzahs and also purple cardboard gift boxes for the upcoming festival of Hanukkah this weekend. While Toronto police initially reported that just 20 mezuzahs had been taken, they've since revised that number up to approximately 30. It's a complicated situation because the building used to be home to a much larger number of Jewish tenants than it is now, but the imprints of some of the old mezuzahs are still on those apartment doorposts, even though the tenant is long gone, so it's hard to know the real number. But that doesn't matter to Rabbi Mendel Zaltzman, the CEO of the Jewish Russian Community Center.
Do we have a number exactly yet of how many were taken off? Like,
No
there's
one,
different numbers.
no one will ever know that, and I'll tell you why. The police says 12-15 per floor. They're saying that because they're looking at marks on the doors. Marks on the doors don't say enough because there could be a Jew that lived in the apartment 5 years ago, moved. The new people that moved in aren't. So the police number is going to be 150 just based on 12-15 per floor. I'm assuming it's somewhere between 60 and 100. Just based on the amount of Jews living in the building. But I don't know that anybody will ever be able to give you an accurate number unless somebody goes unit by unit, makes sure to meet every single resident and says, was your mezuzah taken down?
The silver lining to this is that because you got to go into the building now, you're going to put stuff up that was never missing this weekend, but maybe was missing before,
Correct.
right?
Absolutely.
So I guess that's
As I said, I was speaking to the National Post before, and I said, this is how Jews react to something. We don't just restore, we make it better, bigger. So if this building till now had a certain amount, something bad happened, we need to come out stronger. There's got to be more than there was before.
While Rabbi Zaltzman brought 175 mezuzahs with him, just in case, a spokesperson for City Councillor James Pasternak's office, Zenya Drasman, said the number of mezuzahs that were torn off in the middle of the night was 110.
They're going right now to the 10th.
Rabbi Zaltzman assigned teams of volunteers to go to all 14 floors and knock on doors to find any Jewish tenants who needed their missing mezuzahs replaced or wanted to have one installed for the first time. I followed one team, led by Rabbi Shmuel Neft, to the 10th floor, where he and another volunteer used their multilingual skills in Russian, Hebrew, and English.
Hi. Могу вам подарить новую мезузу? Okay.
This tenant named Zhenya wanted a mezuzah, so he retrieved one out of his bag, positioned it about a foot from the top of the metal doorframe on the right side, and asked her to place her hand on the mezuzah, then repeat the sacred blessing after him.
Повторите за мной. Барух, Ата, Адонai, Eloheinu, Melech, Haolam, Asher, Kidshanu, B'mitzvotav, V'tzivanu, Likboa, Mezuzah. So.
Ever since October 7th, 2023, Muslim and Jewish communities in Canada have been torn apart.
I've known you for 20 years. You've been at my house for Shabbat supper, I don't know how many times. And for 1 second, you can't put down your front and just hold my hand?
We're fed a constant stream of Jews and Muslims talking at each other, about each other, but rarely do we hear them talking to each other.
There was, why are you doing this? What's the benefit of doing this?
This podcast aims to do something different. I'm Avi Feingold, a rabbi and a writer with the Canadian Jewish News.
I'm Yafa Sakeja, a Canadian-Palestinian entrepreneur and volunteer with the Canadian Friends of Standing Together.
We're sitting down with Jews and Muslims, Israelis and Palestinians from coast to coast and across the political divide, having difficult conversations in good faith.
We are not the Israeli government. Palestinians are not Hamas.
This is the place where we're both supposed to end up, Israeli and Palestinian, Arab and Jewish.
Subscribe to In Good Faith, wherever you listen to podcasts.
The blessing of a new mezuzah was a scene I would watch Rabbi Neft perform at least 3 times in just the half an hour I was there on that one floor.
So you're replacing
Yes,
this?
yes.
Okay.
It's a gift from me to you.
Okay.
Okay.
From you.
Yes.
No, from the church.
No, from the Jews. It's from the community. Okay.
He's being funny.
Hold on to the mezuzah.
Tenant Miguel Camacho also wanted a mezuzah, but he was worried because his door was a mess.
We have to clean it.
It will clean around it. It's okay. I'm going to put it up here.
Okay.
The spot where his mezuzah used to be before it was stolen was covered with fine black powder. We were told that was just the fingerprint dust left there by the police the day before.
Mezuzah.
Amen.
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 Good.
Be well.
By the end of the day Monday, over 60 mezuzahs had been replaced. 46 by these rabbis and their volunteers. Another 20 had already been put up on Sunday by the group called Unapologetically Jewish. Toronto police say they need people whose mezuzahs were stolen to report it to them. We heard that not everybody is going to do that out of fear.
I'm going to management to talk to them.
Tenant Shoshana Pellman didn't have her stolen mezuzah replaced Monday, but hoped that would happen on Tuesday. The rabbi said they planned to return to the building to complete the task. Pellman's lived in this building for 19 years. She suspects it was either somebody who lives here who did this, which she's told police already, or it could have been homeless people who she often sees making their way into the complex.
How long has this particular mezuzah been on your door?
Since I moved in there, 2006. 19 years.
And when this happened to you, how are you feeling about this?
Upset. I feel threatened. Thinking of, well, I was walking in my apartment now, I think it could have been a lot worse. The person, what do you mean a lot worse? I'm not going to go into details. If I was, my gosh, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. If I was doing something like that, I would probably think of other things that someone could do that are much more problematic, right? It's not offensive. It's just being more creating a situation there where it's much more difficult for the other person, right? Like
you walked the hallway, maybe you could have bumped into them. That's scary, no?
It's terrifying because you don't know. Because I told the police, it's either a tenant, could be someone. Because there's videos, right? They're gonna check the videos and they're gonna see if someone came in or out of the building at 6 o'clock in the morning, around 6 o'clock, right? So we don't know if it, like I said, it's either a tenant or it could be someone from outside.
And you said that there was a notice we saw on the elevator that there was graffiti. November 24th, they put up a notice now. What was that about? You don't know?
It was about homeless people. Because then what happens is we have people wandering around outside and sometimes get into the building. And They're not allowed. They shouldn't be getting in. Right?
So you think there should be better security, more cameras on the floor? Bless you. What do you want?
Well, the cameras are there, right? The cameras don't keep people out. Cameras are there to show what's happening. But someone can walk in, and they're in.
Tenant Lev Zidel tells me he was very upset after he discovered his mezuzah was missing. The 84-year-old has lived in the building for 22 years. Zidel chalks it up to the rise in anti-Semitism.
When did you
In
discover?
the morning, I was going to pray with his father, Rabbi Cohen. When I step out, I wanted to touch mezuzah like usually when I go outside. I look, no mezuzah. I went on the floor, I look around and see one door, second door, third door, first door, 5 doors or something.
Question: how upset are you about this
Very
anti-Semitism?
very upset. Because I watch news, I watch TV, I watch computer, I see what's going on. And maybe they let somebody in. Somebody heard at 6 o'clock in the morning some noise. And maybe that time they were doing this. Because they would take off.
And you heard something, maybe.
Somebody said to me, if I heard, I would maybe do something. If I would be scared. I don't know, maybe I would be scared. But I find out only in the morning. I find somebody heard 6 o'clock in the morning some noise. But they didn't open doors, they didn't look. Nobody want to be, to get in the head.
Has it ever happened something like this?
It happened only years ago, some kind of this graffiti. One time more years ago was something written, but not anti-Semitic. What was written now? Previous time, years ago, was some hooligan, something wrote. But this time, I don't know, maybe all this in that situation was going now.
This building is run by the City of Toronto's Senior Housing Division. It has 389 units. Social services agencies like Circle of Care have offices there too. And there are security cameras in the lobby, but not on the residential floors, I was told. There's no front desk concierge or security guard. The city has confirmed late yesterday it had just carried out a safety audit at the building in November. The results showed more cameras should be installed in common areas, which officials hope will be done as soon as possible. Meantime, Toronto Community Housing is stationing safety personnel at the building for the next little while, so Toronto Police can handle the main investigation. Toronto's Mayor Olivia Chow and other politicians from all levels of government have condemned the mezuzah thefts, but some Jewish groups, like B'nai B'rith Canada, blame it on what they call, quote, the permissive nature of the city's response to the rising levels of incitement and intimidation aimed at the Jewish community, which continues to embolden those who wish to target Jewish Torontonians, unquote. Now, this wasn't the first case in Canada where multiple mezuzahs have been torn off, but we have to go back way past October 7th to 2017, 8 years ago, when 7 mezuzahs were damaged inside a condominium building at Beecroft Avenue near Shepherd, which is about a 15-minute drive away from this week's spree. It's also in the same police division, 32 Division. They handled that investigation. At the time, the CJN reported the suspect or suspects also left behind yellow sticky notes with vile anti-Semitic messages, including "No Jews," and swastika symbols scrawled in red ink. In that case, there were no witnesses, they had no video, and, according to the family of one of the victims, whose parents were Holocaust survivors, police never solved who did it. And that's what Jewish Canada sounds like for this episode of North Star, a podcast of the Canadian Jewish News, made possible thanks to the Ira Gluskin and Maxine Granovsky-Gluskin Charitable Foundation. We put links in our show notes so you can learn more about donating to help put new mezuzahs up. North Star is produced by Zachary Judah Kaufman and Andrea Varsany. Michael Freeman is the executive producer, and our theme was composed by Brett Higgins. Thanks for listening.